It is not even 10 a.m. and I'm at my desk, ready to work, got my cup of coffee, and kind of already in gear. I ended up going to bed early like I wanted to last night, but I didn't sit on my phone, like I wasn't checking social media or looking at the time. So I don't really know when I fell asleep. I know it was a little bit earlier than normal. Slept pretty well overall. It's really nice to be back in my own bed after a couple days out, for an event. And got up this morning, maybe 9-ish, and just said, all right, get out of bed. And so I did. Got a good little shave in, which I think came out okay. And now I'm ready to go. So I'm going to start editing. I've got my to-do list kind of already written out and ready to rock and roll on. And honestly, hopefully the rest of the day is as good as this morning has been. Waking up and having a couple nice, positive, happy messages to respond to and already kind of having a general idea of what to work on for the day and just being very quickly able to get some coffee, sit down at the desk, and then just get started, I think is a really, really good way to start each day. And that's what the plan is right now. So I've got my coffee, I've got my to-do list, I've got my computers all ready to go. Just going to start editing yesterday's content, do some follow-ups, and run through the list. And who knows, maybe come noon I'll be done with 90% of what I needed to do today. Which actually, now that I think about it, it's probably a bad thing, because I'm going to get bored. Well, cross that bridge when we get to it. It is now around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm pretty much through almost my entire list, and then a couple things that I actually added onto it. So I just had a little bit of a short break where I was out in the back with the dogs and tested out the Twitch live streaming from the native Twitch app, which I'm not a big fan of the app right now, by the way. I think it's got too many bugs, but that's a totally different conversation. So yeah, I've kind of reached the point where now I'm waiting on people to respond. Like all the things I needed to follow up on, I followed up on. All the little bit of the to-do list is done, and it's still pretty early in the day. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do now. I might just crack open a book and just put my feet up and relax for a little bit. And when stuff comes in, maybe take a break and get back to it. But earlier in the day, I was like really feeling like playing Counter-Strike, and I probably would have streamed. But right now, I don't really feel like that. So I think I'm going to chill out for a bit. Probably end up finishing this book. I have a feeling I'm going to end up bored. I hate being bored. But I think that's what's going to end up happening if I had to predict it, because it is still pretty early in the afternoon. I ended up having a really productive day overall. I got everything I needed to get done by like early afternoon. Added a couple things, I was able to finish them. Thinking about it, actually talking about it right now just reminded me that I still have some stuff in the dryer that I need to go get. Some laundry that I did today. I also had a meeting that was about 30 minutes long, which then turned into a secondary meeting that was 45 minutes long, where they ran consecutive. And I think that went really, really well. That's for an opportunity that I would consider more serious than some of the other ones that are out there. I went to sleep kind of early last night, but I don't know what time I fell asleep. And so tonight I'm thinking I'll probably call it quits and be like in bed ready to sleep around like 1, maybe a little bit before, maybe 1:30, with the goal of falling asleep like right by 2 o'clock. And I'm going to see how long I can do that until I get into the rhythm or the cycle where my body is like ready for bed right when it gets to about that time. And then I kind of start getting up around the same time each morning, because if I can do that, I think that would just be a really good habit to develop, to build off of with other things. And if there's one thing that I've proven, it's that I can stick to something for a pretty long period of time. This vlog being an example, I think it's been like 100 days or something, and like a third of a year. That's actually pretty crazy, because I think on the channel right now I've got 110 or 115 videos, and there's only a handful of ones that were kind of like one-offs. So it's actually pretty crazy. So that being said, right now what I'm doing is I'm just chilling, messaging with some people on Skype. I've got a couple of CSGO players that wanted my feedback and advice on a couple things that they've got going. This next roster shuffle is apparently going to be like really big, and it seemed like there were a couple teams that were going to be like safe from the roster shuffle, but some of the rumors that I've heard the past day or two, I'm not really sure that there's too many safe teams from making some player trades or transactions or roster shuffling. I actually just washed like all the sheets and stuff for my bed, so I'm gonna have like nice clean sheets, nice comfortable bed. Second night, I'm getting a little bit tired because I went to bed earlier, which meant I got up earlier. I'm not used to being up for this many hours in a row. So like, I think tonight's going to be like super good sleep, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. So that's how I know I'm getting old, is I'm looking forward to going to bed. But anyway, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the night. Hopefully get a really, really good night's sleep. And I've got one meeting tomorrow that's like pretty important. I think it's the offer or opportunity that I have right now that's kind of at the top of the list. And if that conversation goes well, then hopefully I'll have a decision and a path forward before the end of the month. And that's kind of been my goal, like right around the August, or maybe a week or so into August was the time frame that I had in mind. So fingers crossed, hope that it goes well. And yeah, I guess that's it.